Good afternoon, and welcome to EXP. I am Byron Easterling, if you don't know me, and I just wanted to take a few minutes today to talk about two things. The first has a lot to do with my family because it is February 25th and it is my daughter's birthday. And I just had to take a moment to say to everyone what an amazing person she is. First of all, just she has raised a fabulous family. And of course, she has her children have the most wonderful grandparents. Anyway, um, but also, this woman has created and developed and operated a successful business on her own. She's created other people, brought other people into it and expanded that. That is a lot. And I know others, of course, others have done this, but just from my viewpoint, I have to say, what an amazing and just, I don't know if I could have done that as well at her age. I definitely don't think so. So here's to you, my dear daughter. and and secondly, she is one of the most genuine people that I know. She When she presents herself, she is who she is. And I so love that about you, that you are who you are, whether you're at home with your feet kicked up or you're out on a job, you're with your kiddos, whatever it is, with you and Sam. Thanks so much. It's so cool to have you and to have you just as a daughter and to be a part of your life. And I'm so glad that we got to be back here close by. And so happy birthday. Here's to a fantastic day and just a super fabulous year. Yeah, great. I did want to talk about one other thing. I was on a call this morning and we were talking about the difference between transition and building because a lot of times people think that when they're in the building process, they're actually still in transition. And that makes sense. And so let me dig into that just a little bit. For me, transition happens when you're in transition and you've been asking yourself dozens of questions. For some, it's just that repeating pattern of what's happening, what's changing, how do I make this happen? Should I make it happen? Am I crazy? That all these questions, they're questions, questions, questions. And that's a sign, of course, that we're in transition. I think a lot of times a lead up to transition is the feeling of running out of grace for something. When we get to that place where we just don't have the grace anymore for where we've been. That's a sign that says we're moving. God is moving us somewhere else. God's moving us and shifting us into something else. And that's when we hit transition. Transition is such a cool time because you actually get to stop and ponder, and you have to. You almost have to stop and ponder all these questions that are coming in, attacking. Almost, it feels like an attack, doesn't it? Like your mind's being attacked, your spirit's being attacked, just all of that. But there comes a moment where the questions are starting to get answered. I just recently went through in December a time where I was asking every day a new question. I had set aside time to do this. And right at the end of the month, I came to a point, it's almost like there was a box before me, and I had a choice to make. I had to tick that box. I had to check the box to make a decision. You see, for me, when we come to that point, we come to that point of the box is in front of us, and we have to tick it one way or another. We either stay where we are or we move into something that all those questions have been leading towards. When I ticked that box in December, I was out of transition because in my mind, in my spirit, in my emotions, I had made the decision to move forward. I no longer had to worry about transition. I was now out of transition and into building. Now, this is what gets confusing for a lot of people. And I've had that same confusion. So I'm right in that crowd. When we start to build at the very beginning, it doesn't look like much. And there's still questions, but there's no question about where we're going. We know we're headed that way. We're not going back that way. We're headed that way. But here's the deal. We don't have all the answers yet. So it feels transitional, but it's not because we've already made the decision. It's like, I don't know if you ever watched a home being built, but if it's on a blank piece of property, say you got an acre plot, and in California, I wish I had an acre plot. And it needs to be scrubbed. It needs trees. It needs to be all that taken out. Then the bulldozers have to come in and reshift the dirt. And it doesn't look like much. It looks like just a plateau, right? Like just something you can build on. And then the folks are out there working and they're putting in wooden frames and however they do it. I'm not a builder, so I don't know, but they haven't even poured concrete for the foundation yet. But they're already building. They started building the day the scrub began to leave, the day the trees were cut down. So don't get in a hurry and don't be worried whether or not you have all the answers for out there. This is the journey. This is the place we're going to. Yeah, that's the place we want to be able to step into and just keep asking questions about how to move forward, how to build, how to take on what you ticked the box for. Now, there are a number of us, interesting enough, who have felt like we're in a pause moment. So what's a pause? You have transition, you have building, you have the ticking of the box. But what's a pause? And I've noticed that it's this place of it's kind of like the wood between the worlds. It's the rising of the sun before it's full. What do they call that? Anyway, I don't know. The dawn, the dawning of the day. It's just rising, but there's this moment of peace and pause, and we're not fully engaged in building, but we're past the transitional stage. There's a number of people I've talked to that feel in this rest pause moment. Now, I think this is much a God moment as the transition was and as the building is, because he's placed you in a moment of pause where you're able to rest, prepare, contemplate what that future is going to look like. It's a kingdom moment. So if you're feeling this pause moment, don't get in a hurry to start building. But you don't pause for long. it will be over pretty quickly. The pauses don't last for a very long time. So, anyway, I hope that you have connected in, and if you are one of those people in a transitional, moving from transition to building, and you're in a pause moment, know that God has that. He has that for you because He wants to plant and place something in you yet that's not quite ready to fully build. So go spend some time with Him. Enjoy. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. If you know anybody that needs this, please pass it on. Cool. We'll talk to you later. Yeah.